Angelelli had a good start as well, having qualified 8th. Yes, they had a minor off on his first lap in qualifying. They felt he had a P3 car, however. There's the chase, getting loose over the curb.
This is the Matt Connolly Motorsports machine.
Seth Ingham behind the wheel right now, so not a lot to hit out at this racetrack, Dorsey, but the gravel trap can grab you.
Well, and you see what happens when you go off, Calvin. That silty gravel out here in the desert will swallow the car up. Now, the problem is he can drive it back out into the racetrack, but then the racetrack becomes very slippery with all that.
Lap 1 down. The day has begun. Weather on our side, and this really is a promoter's dream to have both classes set to go. Problems for the TRG 65.
Oh, big crash here. We've got a lot of contact on this racetrack. There's pieces of car everywhere. We saw the 65 Porsche is turned around backwards, but this is a DP car that we're looking at.
That's Seth Ingham in the Matt Connolly Motorsports chase, and it was Ross Smith in the 65 that we saw stranded on track as well.
You have to wonder, Dorsey, whether that car tried to get back on course as the GT field was coming around and didn't see them coming.
Absolutely. That was the car you saw spun off into that gravel. I said he would come back on the racetrack as we get a full course yellow. I said he'd come back on the racetrack and bring a bunch of debris. I think he came back on the racetrack and created a bunch more.
Well, speaking of TRG, you know what this first full course yellow means? RJ Valentine will come in and Andy Lally will climb behind the 66.
Oh, look, one of the Mazdas involved. Can't see the number yet.
Say it's the 69. Chris.
70.
70.
Lee, this is really going to play into the strategy down here in the 66 car. We've seen Andy Lally take over the wheel of that car in the early laps of just about every race this year. It was going to happen once again today, but they really needed a caution. Last year we didn't have a caution until close to 5 hours into this race, and the team was concerned about that because cautions have played into their strategy all year long. Getting Andy behind the wheel, they've lost a lot of track position throughout the year, but they always gain it back with the caution, and then Andy gets the win. This is perfect for them today. They're going to have a long day, him behind the wheel, then Spencer Pumpelly. Spencer helped them get the win at the 6 Hours of the Glen back in June.
There's more drama in the GT class. There has been a report that the 87 car, here's the replay of Seth Ingham. We'll get back to that GT story.
Oh, my thinking.
Holy
Ham goes
cow.
upside down.
Nick
That
Ham,
is unbelievable.
Nowhere to go. He drives right in front of him, and a big flip for Nick Ham.
That's what's left of the 31, and we saw earlier shots of what was left of the Speed Source RX-8.
You have to think that maybe this guy who doesn't have that much experience in this class forgot about the two classes running together, thought he's at the tail end of the field, didn't even look.
Let's see it again. This is graphic.
This is just, he can't see. That's the problem. He's full of dust. Drives right in front of Nick Ham. Nick nowhere to go. Hits that car, does a big barrel roll.
Remember, you have the split start here, so the GT pack was some ways behind the DP field. And that is a massive impact, and we saw Nick get out of the car. Hopefully he's okay.
Remember what I said about when you go out that silt, when you go off and you saw that dust fly up. The problem was when he re-entered the racetrack, he had no visibility whatsoever. There, look in that windscreen. You can't see in, he can't see out. He pulls straight in front of the oncoming.
Even so, Dorsey, you don't come out perpendicular to the track like that. You ease your way on.
Well, unfortunately, this was a rookie mistake. You're right, Calvin, and it was a huge one for the GT points battle.
Well, and that 70 car that rolled over with Nick Ham aboard, that's a 3-time race-winning car this year. This is a prototype that made its debut several years ago, and then the Matt Connolly Motorsports organisation took it over some short time ago. But let's hear more from the Speed Source team.
Well, obviously a lot of disappointment down here. Some of our championship contenders are already out here lap 1. Sylvan, what happened with Nick?
Just extremely unbelievable. You know, in the driver's meeting, they tell us if you go off the racetrack, don't come back on because this type of stuff can happen. Nick, you know, we're in second place, real strong on, great race car. The Speed Source Mazda Speed RX-8 was running fantastic. We're just doing what we needed to do to try to win this championship, try to win the race. And then somebody that, it's unbelievable. We flipped the car, it's severely damaged. Nick is okay, I think. He's saying he's a little sore, but the whole Mazda Speed team is just crushed by somebody's stupidity, so it's just unbelievable.
This team has been so strong all year long. Obviously, major disappointment down here, but we're very happy to hear Nick Ham is all right.
Well, every team is a hard-working team, but the Speed Source boys really give it 110%. They're very passionate about sports car racing and the Rolex Series. They just delivered a new car, the car that Patrick Dempsey is racing in today. We'll talk more about that a little later. He's partnered with Joe Foster, and wow, it's just kind of takes the words out of your mouth, doesn't it? I mean, that was just amazing.